The general stinginess happening in the discourse about romantic relationships in my comment section is making me fucking sick. Everything should be 50-50 because it's an equal partnership. Just say you don't understand the value of feminine energy and move on. This is why women hate a lot of straight men, why we detest them, because they don't understand a woman's value and it shows. If you've ever even fixed your mouth to ask the question, what do you bring to the table? You've already lost, because what you're saying is, I don't understand women. Can you explain them to me? No, I fucking can't. Okay? But since we are so obsessed with making relationships transactional, I will say this. You could be paying for everything and it still would not even be a fraction of the value that she is providing. If you truly understood, you would be doing everything you can to support her. A good relationship is not two identical people with identical energies and identical everything coming together. It's about complementing each other. And do you understand that your suspicion that women are using you for your money, it's sick. You need hypnotherapy. You're having schizophrenic delusions. You need to be medicated. Okay? If you're looking for someone who's going to provide the exact same thing you provide, you're not looking for a woman. You're looking for a man, which is totally fine, but let's be honest about it. We've made everything in this world masculine. Data and numbers and transactions and working hard. And now we're trying to do it with feminine energy too. It's tragic.
So the video that she's talking about, basically she had a boyfriend, or I think it's her ex now. So her ex and her were talking about moving in together. And he said, okay. And it was pretty much a done deal. They were going to move in together. They were finding their own place. Turns out he got a lump sum of money. He was working in tech and he got paid, right? So they gave him they broke him off a little something, right? And so he said, you know what? Instead of me getting an apartment, I'm just going to go ahead and get a house. I'm just going to buy my own place. Well, she said, I still want to go ahead and move in with you. And he said, okay, well, we're going to still keep the arrangement that we had prior to me getting the house. So she got mad that she still had to pay basically rent. She got mad at that. And so this is what this video is about. You had people in the comments basically saying, well, you need to pay your half. And they would be correct. And now we got foolishness because he said, no, you're not about to come stay in my house for free. What you wanted to do, because I think she had another situation with another man, because apparently her and her ex who had the house broke up. And now she's having that same conversation. And this man said, seems like you're trying to leech off of me. That's what that sounds like. And that's when she got upset. So this is the conversation that's being had now. Ma'am, you didn't want to pay anything. What you wanted to do is get in there, pay a bill or two, maybe buy some groceries, but you really wanted to let that man allow you to live off of him. Ain't nobody calling you a gold digger, but what I am saying is you kind of wanted to live a little bit easier, and you thought he was going to allow you to do that. Well, you already took care of the house. Then, that's taken care of. I'll pay you a little something on rent and groceries and from time to time, but I don't expect to pay significant bills. Just say that and move on.
My baby mom gonna call me and say, I'm short $300 on the rent. I said, is this for my kids? She said, no. I said, don't you got a man? She said, yeah, but he at work. I said, he ain't get no money. She was like, no. I was like, bruh. I said, shit, I got 300, but you already know what you're gonna have to do for the 300. She's like, yeah, I know, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I said, bet, I'll be over there in a minute, man. Give me about 30, 40 minutes. So boom, I'm beating her, doing anything. I got her squirting, telling her she love me and shit. Telling me we're gonna get back together and shit. I already know she fucking lying. So I was like, shit, I'm just gonna play on with it, right? Tell me the fuck why this bitch going on Facebook talking about some, look at God. What? God?
This is gonna work with some others, but there is a gross entitlement in women who refuse to go 50-50, who think it's ridiculous to go 50-50. I think it's ridiculous that you think that's fucking ridiculous. Are you literally fucking insane? If you're a pro-woman, if you're a feminist, if you don't like the constrictions placed on you by gender roles and expectations, why would you, in your right fucking mind, believe that just because he's a man, he has to pay more?
Well, there you have it, ladies. According to some angry lady on the internet, you're not a feminist if you don't go 50-50 with a man. And yes, before anyone asks, I am wearing my hair curly. I do that sometimes when I don't have a lot of time.
I think her entire point is that, you guys, you guys don't really seem to want to do anything, right? You guys don't seem to want to help the man out. You seem to be okay with just sitting there, letting the man do everything. And of course, in the comments, you have some ladies that say just weird and stupid stuff. One woman in the comments, well, actually a couple of them, said childbirth isn't 50-50. Another person said it should be 100%, basically 100-100. She does 100% childbirth. He pays 100% of the bills. That would make sense if he didn't have to work for the next 40 years. You're going to take care of the kids. I mean, first of all, you have the child. You carry the child for 9 months. You go through all of those changes. Even at that, let's say you have 3 children, right? Let's say you have 3 children. So I give you, in time, 5 years for each of those children. 5 years for each of those children. So it's 15 years of free labor, right? I give you, okay, I owe you 50 years. The average person, the average man is going to be working about 40, 45 years. He's still got 10 to 15. Well, so if I give you 5 years for each child, 5, 10, 15, he's still got you by about 25, 30 years. He's still working. After I gave you those 5 years for the children, he's still working. At what point in time do we stop using that same excuse as to why you're not going to be doing anything?
Because there's women out there that will walk away from a good man talking about, oh, he wanted to go half on rent. He wanted to go half on
facts.
Like that is, you know how fatuous and inane that is to say he wanted to go half. First of all, you are responsible for 100% of your life as an adult. 100% of your problems, 100% of your bills, 100% of your stress. And you mean to tell me you had a man right there like, I'll take half of that from you. And you was like, that ain't good enough.
Right.
Damn.
I want you to take it all. I don't want to have no responsibility as an adult. And that is financial abuse. And that is feminine manipulation and abuse. So then, fellas, you need to walk away.
People are upset with me because me and my fiance, we go 50-50. And I think by people, she meant females, obviously, because they're the only ones who get mad at other women for splitting the bills and loving their fucking husband.
I did not realize that some of you would get upset that my fiance and I split our mortgage and utilities 50-50. In my mind, that was so normal because damn guys, we're not trust fund babies. Like we both have high paying jobs, work in New York in tech, like make a good living, but neither of us have trust funds to fall back on. I don't expect Sam to not be able to invest or save or do all of those things because he's paying for all of my nonsense. Don't get me wrong, he treats me well. And outside of any man or relationship, it's just important to me that I'm able to be financially stable and responsible on my own. I think it's sexy when a female knows how to take care of her own finances and herself. Sure, Sam always likes to cover things that makes him feel good, but knowing that I can hold down the fort on my own too, like makes me feel good.
I just can't stand females who get upset with other females for being an adult, for not being delusional. Like they're mad at you because you're not as fucking delusional as they are. And it's like, you know, like I have to just sit down and be like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
If you do not need a man, pay for your own food.
I'm independent. I don't need no man taking care of me.
Cool, then you pay for your food and I'll pay for mine.
But you're not gonna do that. Because you're broke and you need that man to pay for your food. See, a lot of females like to talk a lot of shit on the dates. It's the prime example why I never take a female out to eat at all. At all. Until she fucking prove herself to me that she not one of these types of fucking females. Say, oh, I don't need a man. I am independent. Well, pay for your own food. Pay for your own food. 50-50, right? 50-50. Like, y'all always got a lot of shit to say, bro. These are the type of chicks all men must avoid. First of all, if a female come out right and say that shit on a date, that date is fucking over. I'm splitting the fucking check immediately. Completely. But of course, I would never be put in that type of situation. Because me personally, before I even take a female out to eat, she has to, number one, prove herself to me. that she like me. And number two, I have to know her very, very well. That's the only way I would take her out to eat. I don't just take any woman out to eat because there are a lot of fucking females out here that act just like her on a fucking date. Can't stand it. Just can't stand it at all. Oh, I am independent. I'm independent. I don't need a man. Like, shut the fuck up. Like literally, man. Like, shut up. Pay for your own food. And hopefully this man made her ass pay for her own goddamn food. Because right now, she not the one for you, buddy. She not the one for you. If a female come on a date acting like that, she don't like you. She only there for the meal. And she dependent on you to pay for her food because she's broke. She ain't got shit. She ain't got shit. She broke as fuck. Or if she's not broke, she'd rather not spend her money and want you to spend your money. Pay for her food and shit. And one more thing. To all the men out here, if you guys are out here dating females, you guys taking women out to eat, I need you guys to start testing these women, testing them. And what I mean about that, I want you to pretend that you ain't got your wallet. Just pretend that you forgot your wallet and see her reaction. Her reaction right there can be good or bad. And you will see her true fucking colors. If she get very fucking angry because you ain't got your wallet, she's broke for number one, and number two, she's not the one for you. Because a woman, when you test her in that way, a woman with a brain, if she likes you, she will cover it all for you. Make these females start paying for the date, bro. Straight up, bro. Make these women start paying for the fucking date. Straight up, man. I don't play no fucking game. That is me personally. But like I said, man, I'm taking no female out to eat unless she prove herself to me. And I know her very, very well. That's the only way I'll do that.
Women, stop leading with money. Women, while dating, feel some need to express to men how much money they're making and how financially independent they are. All you're doing is setting yourself up for this man to say, great, you got your own money, even more reason for me to go 50-50. We as women, we like to treat our men. We like to take them out and buy some things here and there. But you will find a man who will be dependent on these things if you just keep leading with your money. A man who is a provider is not what you're going to attract when you're just spilling your financial situation as if it is a bonus point or you get brownie points as a person for being financially stable. We're all adults. We should all have our own money. Leading it in the dating space can have a man feeling that that's what you are happy with and that's what you're comfortable with. So he doesn't understand why now you're upset that he wants to go 50-50 or split the check. So don't lead with your finances, lead with your femininity, lead with your characteristics and things that you can bring to the table. But if you do not plan on going 50-50, stop putting your money on the table.
I mean, you guys are continuing to try to attract a provider. Are you guys going to start trying to attract a partner, like a companion, somebody that you actually like, instead of jockeying for position? Are you going to attract somebody that you actually want to be in a relationship with?
Hi, women. What's wrong with 50-50? Why are we mad? Because one go 50-50. 50-50 sound good. Because right now, it's a lot of men that's trying to go 100-0. They want you to take care of them. And there's a lot of women who want you to go 100-0 men, right? You know? So we want to just cut that out and just go ahead and just make everything naturally 50-50. Now, when you fall short, that is what the purpose of having somebody else there to make sure, you know, you get pulled up, you come up. You know, I don't know. I feel different about 50-50. I feel like ain't nothing wrong with 50-50. I feel like that means that we both are ambitious. We're both going for it. We're both bringing in money. It's not just one person. And I think that's better suited in a household. A 2-income household is better than none. You know, it's better than all. So, I don't know. 50-50, mentioning 50-50 don't upset me. Because I tell you what, baby, you ain't got enough money to pay for your meal at this table. I guarantee you I do. And I think that's what 50-50 means, okay? No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to pay for your plate. I promise you I'll pay for your plate. But moral of the story is, women, we gotta stop getting mad about something that we should be accepting, because it's better than motherfucking nothing. I'm telling you.
I told Shorty just like this, hey, you got an attitude, we gonna start light. You gonna start paying that cable bill. Next month, you got an attitude, you gonna pay that PG&E. You still got an attitude? Good morning, y'all. This morning we talking a 50-50 conversation. So I want y'all to know, I didn't really have a father, so when I was placed in a situation in which I had to assess my manhood based on what I could provide, I decided, you know what? I'm finna pay all the bills. Shorty lost her job, even though I told her it wasn't gonna work at that specific location. It was a little family business joint. And I said, yo, it ain't gonna work. So she lost her job. And look, I made sure, I said, what would a man do? In my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm working. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the fam. Boom. I start paying all the bills. Guess what? Gratitude went out the window. Expectation came kicking down the door and it slapped me in my face. So I just noticed the attitude. I didn't ask you to cook me food. I didn't ask you to take my socks off. I didn't ask you to worship the ground I walked on. I just asked for gratitude and peace. And every month, every day, it was getting more stressful, less peaceful. And she just did not care about me paying all the bills. So me being a real one, if you know who my mammy is, she raised me to be a savage. I told her, you got to start paying the cable. And then boom, you still got an attitude, PG&E, boom, until it got all the way back to 50-50. Because listen, the secret sauce is gratitude. You telling me somebody is coming in that you like and they're going to take half of the pressure off of you? And the only thing that you're saying is if you can't pay all my bills, I'm not going to be a wholesome, principle-based woman. If you're not going to pay all my bills, I'm able to be sold to the highest buyer. Oh, no, the solution to 50-50 is gratitude. Y'all better tell me what y'all think. Tell me, was I tripping? Tell me, was I tripping? I want to know. All right, y'all. Go.
Ew? Yeah. What does that smell? It smells like bitch.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit this. I'm all about a man being a provider, but I can tell you one thing, not for a woman like this. I've talked about this a lot in my videos, man. You know, picking and choosing the right partner to provide for is key. When all she cares about is you providing. All she cares about is you paying this and doing that and doing this and doing that. It's never gonna work out, G. She doesn't care about you. She cares about the status of being with you. That's it. Real woman, homie, a man's gonna do everything for her. I promise you. I'm a dude. I know. A real woman, he's gonna go tenfold for her. He's gonna provide for her. He's gonna do everything he can for her. A woman that's gonna bring him nothing but problems, not so much. It truly is a cold game out here, fellas. Pick and choose wisely. Find a woman of God. Find a woman who's traditional, who has traditional values, who's gonna appreciate you and love you and care about you, man. Find someone who's gonna go the extra mile for you, and then you can go the extra mile for her. That easy.
Okay, this one is for the fellas. I want you guys, without insulting me, to prove to me what the benefit of marrying you guys is if you're not a provider, right? Please use logic and make it make sense. Because in my previous video, all I said was, I don't believe that it is a flex for a woman to be proposed to by or married to a man that is not a provider. Reason being is because women get married and they start cooking, cleaning, packing lunches, serving a man, washing his clothes, folding them, putting them away. They feel as though they have to lower their voice, they have to dress different, and they have to lose their entire identity over a man, right? And then those same women are working full-time jobs and helping with the bills, right? The crazy thing is, if you guys are equal and you're doing the exact same thing, you're going 50% on the bills, he's going 50% on the bills. But only you are cooking, cleaning, and doing laundry and physically taking care of the kids. That man is just there. So in reality, you're in servitude to a lazy ass man that's taking advantage of you. Prove me wrong. What sense does it make? Now, men try to turn it around and say, well, in that case, we're slaves to you guys because we work and then give you guys the money or pay all the bills. No, because raising children, cooking, cleaning, and packing your lunches, doing laundry is a job. You guys act like it's not a job because you just view women as these pieces of property and not people. But if you go and live on your own
and you want someone to do those things for you, you will probably have to hire multiple different people and have to pay them by the hour or be on some type of subscription. So make it make sense. You find it suitable to pay those employees, but not your wife, for doing the same service. These are multiple jobs, okay, that a woman is doing. And then really, yeah, you getting the money, but women are managing it most of the time because men are idiots. You guys may be the same age or maybe older, but mentally you're behind 10 years, biologically. It's like raising another child. You guys be mama's boy or the father went around, or you had a horrible example of a man around. I'm just saying, I really don't think it's nothing to argue about. It's just something that needs to change. Now, if you want to find a woman to go 50-50, fine. But I feel as though if I'm going 50-50 with the man and he don't want to cook and clean, he needs to hire multiple different people for that service and see how expensive it is. So by the time you're done paying them people to do your half of the chores, your half of the cooking and all of that stuff like that, you're going to realize you should have just gave me the money.
Well, we already know, statistically speaking, what you're talking about isn't true, right? We know, like say for instance, if you say, well, I do more housework, the man does more work outside the house. Number one. Number two, paid labor, unpaid labor, the man, especially if he's married, still works more. He works longer hours. He's got the more dangerous jobs, more dangerous occupations. You're sitting at home doing, working with the kids. And I understand, a lot of time raising kids, the difficulty comes from you being tired. A lot of that comes from you being tired, and them wearing your nerves. Yeah, man. They just wearing you down, man. They're just wearing you down, and all right, I'm sorry. It's a different type of difficult, right? You guys are dealing with different problems, and he's saying, okay, if I'm doing this over here, I'm working and bringing more money into the house. Can you handle this over here? And you say, okay, yeah, cool. The man, once again, he's doing a lot of the physical work, a lot of the physical labor, a lot of the discipline. You can guide and lead the child, but a lot of times, because the buck is going to stop with the man, he's going to do the majority of the discipline. That's just, in general, how it works out. So we're not just talking about money, we're talking about provision in general. So if you need somebody to say, I'm having this problem, a man might be a janitor, but a man might be a supervisor or a manager over all the other janitors while you're dealing with your boss at work. It's going to be the same mindset, just a different occupation. They're still leading people. So one thing that I would do is I would go to my dad and I would say, hey, Dad, this manager is doing X, Y, and Z. My dad was in sales, right? He used to manage people. He used to manage his own team. He used to work for TJ Maxx. He used to work for Wieners. I don't know if you guys know that store is a department store back in the late 70s when they first came to, I guess, somewhere in Texas, maybe College Station. He used to work for that branch, and he moved around. They moved him around because, he was such a good manager. But it's all about managing people. And you can go to him and ask him, and you can say, hey, babe, I'm having an issue with X, Y, and Z. How do I handle this? I used to do the same thing with my dad. And he would give me tips and tricks and pointers on what to say, on what to do, because he knows the mind of a manager, right? So your man, even though he might not be making as much as you, will help you with the people skills, will help you with managing relationships, because he does it all day, every day. He just doesn't get paid as much as you do, right? But y'all think because y'all make as much or more money, then all of a sudden you can go berserk and you can start yelling and hollering and screaming at people. You don't do that at your job. You still have to respect your colleagues and have a certain level of decorum, even when you know you're making more than your colleague, or you're smarter than your colleague, you still have a certain level of respect and decorum with them. And sometimes you might be smarter than your supervisor or making more than your supervisor, but you have to figure out, hey, how do I work with my supervisor in order for us to drive results? Y'all don't have a problem doing that year in and year out. But when you get with a man that does way more, then you limit him to the money that he's making, the position that he has. Y'all are talking about men like the vast majority of them are bums, when a lot of them are working just as hard, if not harder than you are. Harder than you are. But y'all don't see it because, oh, well, because I'm making more money, I must be working or be a better person. No, just means that in a different industry, you figured out how to do something in that specific industry. When you move yourself out of that industry, all of your skills and your stuff goes down to zero because you don't know what the heck you're doing. And sometimes people will come up, hey man, you don't know. Like, say for instance, somebody might come up to when I was a janitor, somebody might come up to me, oh man, those floors look really good. And they might be a doctor. They could tell me all about medicine and run circles around me. But then when it comes to doing those floors, when it comes to cleaning the room and all that stuff, you give them a rag and they just wipe stuff down. And you're like, are you at home or are you at a hospital? Wipe that stuff down correctly. They didn't know because they don't do it. I practice medicine. I work in medicine. So I know how to listen to symptoms and tell other people what's going on. You know how to clean. So we tell you how to, so we say, hey, can you help us? Can you clean this? And it's your job to go in there, and clean all that stuff to the specifications and the standards of not just the hospital, but sometimes they want you to exceed what the hospital does. So you have different elements of a relationship. You have different elements of protection and provision. And a lot of ladies are ignorant to what the provision actually is. They don't know, and they admit that they don't know what the role actually encompasses. That's why y'all really don't respect men.
So I see multiple people tagging me in this 50-50 conversation. Let me tell you why 50-50 doesn't benefit us on a mental and emotional standpoint once the relationship gets serious. I watch most women who are married or in relationships consistently bust their ass and end up becoming miserable. She's the chef morning till nighttime, cooking when everybody hungry, the maid when the house need clean, the doctor when the kids are sick, carpool with the kids, helping them with homework, still gotta make time to have intercourse with you and keep her bad bitch together. If she gotta do all of those things on top of making her own money to pay her own bills, then she literally in a relationship with herself. A lot of y'all men get with these women and still make them feel single because the thing that you do best in a relationship is provide. Yes, you're supposed to hire your own and make your own, but a lot of these men ain't going half with us mentally or physically. So you mean to tell me we got to go half financially too?
I think a lot of women complain, once again, to the man. They don't really see the mental load that they dump on a man. All of these complaints a man is going to hear, and a man is going to be working behind the scenes to make it better. Have you ever noticed, or you seen these commercials where a woman will be talking about something, and then in the next scene, it's just done? There was actually a woman here on TikTok when she was like, I love a man that just does something without me having to ask. And in all three of those scenes, the man, when she walked into the room, had just done it. That's it. He had just done it. He had just, without her even having to ask, he had just done it, right? When a lot of these ladies, they want to be led. They want a man to continue to tell them what to do, but they want the man to take initiative. That's lazy. That's lazy. If the man's got to tell you what to do all the time, but then you get mad when you have to explain things to the man, that's lazy. Period. End of story. Well, I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to do that. Do you think that the man, there was one time, he had a truck, and it's actually my pawpaw's truck. And I don't know, after my pawpaw died, my I don't know if my dad wanted to give it away, and really nobody did. But it was just kind of sitting there, and my dad was sitting there in my grandma's yard, and my dad was like, well, I'll take it out, try to fix it up. Because we needed a car. Well, it wasn't the best truck, but it was my papa's. So, we took it and we fixed it up enough for it to drive. The problem is it would go out regularly. It would stop working regularly. And I mentioned to you that my dad ran a business, right? He is in sales and then some other stuff. And he ran that business. And you have to get to work. You got kids, you got to get them to school and all that stuff. Well, my mom, she worked while she was in the bed sleeping. She's in the bed sleeping. We're in the bed sleeping. He's outside. I kid you not. I think it was darn near snowing. And he was under that truck. Well, we were too little to do anything, but he was under that truck trying to get it to work, trying to fix it so we can go to work. So he can go to work, and so he could take my mom to work, and so he could take us to school the next day. That's the type of stuff they talk about not providing. If I gotta be a doctor, this, and that, are you gonna get out there in the snow? One woman was talking about, well, I would rather shovel some snow if I didn't have to plan any more dinners. Once again, you would do even one winter of shoveling snow, one season of shoveling snow versus years of not planning, years of it. You don't see the problem in that? You don't see the problem is I'm willing to do like a little bit of work here. I'll do a little bit of work. I'll rough it here. But when I'm done, I want you to continue to do all of this and never stop. That's what men are trying to tell you guys. Y'all are only looking at the things that you're doing. And y'all only want to do a little bit of it. But when a man says, with all of the paid and unpaid labor that you're doing, I'm still outworking you. I still work more hours than you. Maybe you do more in the home. Maybe you do more with the kids. But overall, I still outwork you. I still provide, I think 70%. I'm still the provider of the home. Y'all be talking about how y'all be raising up and doing it. No, you don't. Oh, I'm the head of that and I'm the breadwinner. No, you're not. I'm still the lead provider in the household. You're not doing, I'm not saying you're not doing a lot. I'm just saying you're not doing as much as you think you are. And you really, once again, don't understand what the man is doing. You're just talking. You're just patting yourself on the back. You're just focusing on what you're doing and not anything that he's doing. And that's short-sighted. And a man has to deal with that while trying to do everything else. He has to, for years and years and years, deal with your small-mindedness. He has for years and years has to deal with the way that you think and trying to get you to see the big picture of where we're going. Well, tell me again how we're going here and what we're doing, and tell me which way we're supposed to be going. After I explained the plan to you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different times, you still asking that same question. Y'all got to stop.
The question was, why do women get triggered by the suggestion of 50-50? The votes are in, and this was the most common, best answer, in my opinion. I'm unsurprised that the topic and the way that I brought it up has stirred up some controversy, so thank you to anyone who has responded objectively and didn't just jump straight into offense. Understand, the rules of relationship dynamics have changed. Single income homes are no longer very affordable to the average person, so we need to learn to adapt and have conversations about it. The original context was, why does the responsibility of paying for dates seem to fall solely on men? But I think talking about relationship dynamics will be a little bit more fruitful. I think a lot of us men do only apply the idea of 50-50 to finances alone. Women do a lot behind the scenes. I literally think they bring life to relationships. So guys, if you are not taking the lion's share financially, you better be stepping your game up outside of your wallet, which you should be doing anyways. And of course, every relationship needs to define their unique dynamic.
A woman here in the comments said, I love this. With my partner, he pays for dates and vacations. I pay for takeout, delivery, and take care of cleaning and meal prep. I think that's a solid trade. I think that's a solid trade too. You help me, I help you. Dang.
Things would be easier if we just go 50-50.
If we go what?
50-50.
Like, who do you think you are?
I mean,
Think that you're about to be out here being a bad bitch and I'm gonna be paying? No, you're so crazy.
think you can't do 50-50.
No, I don't think. I know. I'm not
Why?
doing 50-50 because I'm a traditional woman. That's a man's job, though.
What the hell does that mean?
I never agreed to that. We need to continue doing that until death do us part.
So what if I can't pay the bills?
Then you would no longer be my man. You'd still be a man, though. You would still be a man.
What are
Don't
you
get me
here for?
wrong. I love you and all, on the condition that you continue paying the rent. That's a man's job. Like, did your mother teach you nothing?
Now, my mom told me that, you know, my girl gonna always be there for me for sure. And I watch my mom always be there for her man, even when things get hard. And right now things getting hard, and you show me your true colors.
Can
What?
I speak for you?
What?
And don't take this the wrong way. You're almost a dummy.
Okay, that says a lot. I ain't gonna say nothing else. I'm gonna just figure this out on my
I don't
own.
want to hear this 50-50 talk again.
Question was, why do women get triggered by the suggestion of 50-50? The votes are in.
Because, and men tend to get this wrong a lot, 50-50, 50-50, nothing wrong with that. But a lot of the times 50-50 to men isn't equity, it's equality, meaning both people put in the exact same amount, regardless of what their abilities are, regardless of their financial situation, etc. So what my partner expected from me, a man who is disabled due to PTSD as a veteran, and yes, he is mentally disabled. While he's not physically disabled as much as I am, so to speak, he can get up and walk and do things all day long, and he makes $5K a month. Me, former foster youth, mentally, physically disabled to the point that I've never been able to hold down a job. Still can't even get applied for disability, something he was supposed to help me with. Yet I have lived in this home for 6 years, taking care of him, taking care of every room in this house, besides the damn kitchen and his bedroom and his laundry, these cats. I have put in 6 years of labor, but because he paid more than I did, none of it's mine. I don't have a right to any of it, because for some reason, in y'all's eyes, labor doesn't equate money, which is bullshit. Because just the amount of emotional labor that we put in for our in hetero relationships is absolutely fucking insane. I'll say that. But the fact that you guys expect us to put in all of that emotional labor and then to also meet you 50-50 on everything else, insane. Insane. And that's why we get triggered. Because you guys don't expect 50-50. You don't expect equity or even equality. And then you get upset when we ask for actual equity and equality. This man spent less than $500 on me a month, 10% of his paycheck, and yet I'm a fucking gold digger.
No, what I think you're missing is the type of labor that you're doing. Like, say, for instance, a lot of modern women like to greatly increase or inflate their numbers. They like to say, oh, well, I loaded the dishwasher. You mean it took you 5 to 10 minutes to load that dishwasher, and then you turn it on and the cycle ran for the next 2.5 hours? And then you unloaded the dishwasher, which was like another 10 minutes. So 20 minutes worth of work. And you haven't even done an hour's worth of work. And even if you say, I'm going to load that washer machine, okay, so after you do that, you've done 20 minutes, all right? Well, first of all, you get up and you load the dishwasher, 10 minutes, right? Then you go in there and you load those clothes, another 10 minutes. You let both of them run for about, let's say the washing machine runs for about an hour. You put it in the dryer, you let it run for about another hour. Then it's going to take you 10 minutes to unload it, so 20 minutes worth of work, let's say 25 minutes, loading and unloading and all that stuff. And now you got to fold them. I'll give you 30 minutes. So 40 plus 30, that's an hour and 10 minutes. Am I right about that? An hour and 10 minutes? You've done about an hour and 10 minutes worth of work, folding clothes and loading, unloading. and then also loading and unloading the dishes. That takes 20 minutes. I'll give you another 20. I'll give you another 30 minutes. So now you've done an hour and 40 minutes worth of work. He's got an 8-hour day, bare minimum. What else are you going to be doing around the house? Well, I clean the house. Let's say you take a week to really deep clean that thing. And it's going to take you about, let's say 24 hours. Okay. Let's say it takes you 24 hours to clean all that, right? An average work week is 40. So you've done 24 plus about, I'll give you 2 hours, 26 hours of work to his 40, cleaning the house, washing the clothes, and then also the dishes. Now you got to cook. That includes going to the grocery store, picking out all the groceries. It's going to take you about 2 hours to shop now. You get home and now it's going to take you about an hour, hour and a half to cook. So 2 hours shopping, unloading those groceries, and then coming back home and cooking. That's going to take you about, let's say, 4 hours to do all of that. And you do that 3 times a week. Let's say you cook 5 times a week. 4 times 5 is 40 hours, let's say. No, 20 hours. So now with all of the cooking and cleaning, and I've been generous with the hours that I've given you. You cook 5 times a week. That should be enough for leftovers on Saturday and Sunday. You should even have to cook 5 times a week, but you've done it. You've deep cleaned the house. You've cooked, you've cleaned, you've washed clothes, and you work 44 hours. So, in a standard week for a man, a standard work week is 40 hours. Most men are working more than that. So, I mean, y'all are right on the same playing field. You know what I mean? If you were actually doing stuff, like, I think the most laborious thing in that whole thing was you cooking. Because you actually had to get outside the house, go get the groceries, and then come home and actually cook the stuff. But most people are not really cooking like that. With the advent of the air fryer, the stove is a big help. Crock pots, slow cookers, pressure cookers. You don't really have to wait that long. You have dump and go meals. You can order meals. A lot of people do takeout a lot of times. So you're not really cooking as much as people back in the day used to. You're not sewing any clothes and ironing any clothes. A lot of people just take their clothes and throw them in the dryer and let them knock the wrinkles out and go on. And even more, you have a lot of these companies that somehow make wrinkle-free clothing. So it's already going to come out of the dryer wrinkle-free. For the most part, all you really got to do is hang it up when it comes out, and you're pretty much good. So a lot of those manual tasks have been cut down greatly to where all of this complaining and crying and whining has got to stop. You're doing some work, you're doing pretty good work, but it's not like you don't. I see where you're coming from, but y'all's job is not that laborious. Even going back to shopping, you don't even have to get out there and shop anymore. You can pick up your phone, do a pickup order, a curbside order, and pay for it. You can get all of the deals right there from your phone, right there from your laptop. And all you got to do is get in your car. Hey, how you doing? Are you Jamie? I'm Jamie. You pop you wanted it in the trunk or the back seat? I wanted the back seat. They put it anywhere that you want it and you can drive off. So the entire ordeal, and you can be putting in stuff in your cart over days. Hey, babe, what do you need? I need this, and you just add it to the cart. You could be putting stuff in the cart for a week. And then when you decide it's finally time to get it, or you get paid to go get it, then that's pretty much about the end of it. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that you don't do anything, but a lot of times you guys try to make it seem like y'all are doing so much when you're not really doing a whole lot. Like, you're not doing more than a man, and you think you are because you break it down into little small individual tasks and assignments. But when you put it all together, the man is still doing more work than you.